Hi everyone, welcome back to Kidding Around. My name is Melanie Smith, and I think it is totally cool that you are here with me today to talk about another wonderful woman. Today we will be talking about the beloved children's author Beverly Cleary. Before we do that though, if you like what you're seeing here and want to follow along with all of Kidding Around's videos, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and below each video click the thumbs up. Also, if you really like what you're doing here, please share us with your friends. Thank you so much. All right, let's jump right in and talk about Beverly Cleary. Have you heard her name before? My guess is that you have. She has written so many children's books over her very long life. She's written the Ramona and Beezus series, and she's written about Ribsy and Henry. Have you heard those names? My guess is that you have. Miss Cleary just recently passed away at the age of 104. So my guess is that you heard a little bit about her, as so many people were talking about her long life, where she was able to provide so many amazing stories for kids. Well, let's talk just a little bit more about her, and then we will get into our craft that we are going to make. We're going to make a mouse based on The Mouse and the Motorcycle, one of the books that she wrote. All right, well, let's talk just a little bit about her, though. She was born in McMinnville, Oregon in 1916. Until she was old enough to attend school, she lived in Yamhill, Oregon, which was a town that was very, very small, and it had no library. Because Yamhill had no library, Beverly's mother worked with the state library system to have books sent to their town that people could check out. And then Beverly's mom acted as the town librarian in a community room in the bank. Beverly loved books, but once she attended school in Portland, which is a bigger city in Oregon, she realized that her reading skills were behind other children's reading skills. No matter, though, by third grade she had overcome those struggles with reading, and she surrounded herself with books. Her school librarian suggested to her that she write books when she grew up. Beverly was really excited about the idea of writing for children, and she decided that she would write books that she really wanted to read but was unable to find. She was going to write books with funny stories about the sort of kids that she grew up with. When she became an author, she said one of the most common asked questions of her was, "Where do your stories and characters come from?" She would always reply the same thing, "From my own experience and from the world around me." That is a great testament to writing what you know. If you like to write and you don't know what to write about, start with something very close to you. You know it better than anything else. And even though I think sometimes we think daily life is a little bit mundane and maybe something that other people wouldn't be interested in, I think we often sell it short. Those things that we know so well, are great places to start stories. And clearly, Beverly Cleary showed that with Ramona and Beezus and Henry and Ribsy and all of her other characters. There is one book that we are going to focus on today. It is called The Mouse and the Motorcycle. Do you know this book? It is a very fun book about a little mouse who learns to ride a motorcycle. Let me tell you just a little bit about it, and then we will make our very own mouse that can ride its own motorcycle. Ralph is a mouse who lives in a hotel in California. He longs for a life of danger and speed, and one day a boy named Keith Gridley and his family visit Ralph's hotel. Keith leaves a toy motorcycle on his bedside table, and while Keith is away, Ralph tries to ride it, but cannot figure out how to start it. The telephone rings and startles Ralph, and both Ralph and the motorcycle fall into a trash can. Keith discovers his missing motorcycle in the trash can and shows Ralph how to start the motorcycle. And that is truly where the fun begins. If you haven't had a chance to read this book, I highly encourage you to check it out and figure out what happens to Ralph and Keith and the motorcycle. And we today are going to make our own little interpretation of Ralph the Mouse. So, to do this, you will need a few supplies. You will need some gray yarn. You will need some scissors, a Sharpie marker, some felt in the colors of white, gray, and pink, and then also some fabric glue. If you don't have any fabric glue, I have a link below this video and you can purchase some there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So you can see this little mouse is kind of a scruffy little mouse, but I think he is super cute, and I can imagine him riding the motorcycle through the halls of a hotel, can't you? All right, so to do this, we are first going to make the body of the mouse. And to do that, we are actually going to make some yarn pom-poms. So to do that, we are going to start and wrap some yarn around our 4 fingers. Now this is something that you want to keep loose as you continue wrapping. It's very easy to start getting this very tight, and we don't want that to happen. So just go slowly and just keep rolling. And you can see that I am going to have some problem with my gray yarn ball. I'm kind of rolling all over the table. You might have that problem too. That's okay. Just go gently and slowly and you'll be able to control it. At least that's the hope, right? As everything falls over on my table. But that's okay. We'll get there. All right, so what we're going to do is we are just going to keep wrapping our fingers with this yarn. Now my yarn is kind of a dense yarn, and so it makes really, really scruffy puff balls. If you use a little bit less dense yarn, you will see that you can make puff balls that look a little bit more like puff balls. But you know what? In the end, it doesn't really matter. If you've got gray yarn, it will absolutely work. And I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be gray. In your world, what color are mice? They're gray or brown in the real world, but there's nothing that says that Ralph has to be a real world mouse, right? After all, he's riding a motorcycle. All right, so you can see that I'm just continuing to wrap and wrap and wrap. So the more that you wrap, the bigger your puff ball will be for your mouse body. All right, so this is about enough for me. I hope you can kind of see how much I have there. And I think you can probably see that the yarn started pulling my fingers together. I am going to try not to have that happen on the second one. It may happen a little bit. Just if you go slowly and gently, it will be less likely to happen. All right, so now I'm going to very carefully slide my fingers out of that yarn ball that I had just wound, and I am going to cut it off right there. And then I'm going to put it down. I want that definitely to stay in the shape that it's in. And then I'm going to cut another piece of yarn. I don't know, what is this, 7 inches long, about this long. And then I am going to put my yarn ball right over the middle of that string that I just cut. And then I am going to tie this string on top of the yarn ball. And I'm going to tie it super tight, as tight as I can. So to do that, I'm going to cross my string in an X, and then I'm going to put one of the ends under that X, and I am going to tie and I'm going to pull tight, as tight as I can, and then I'm going to hold that cross that I just tied with my thumb, and I'm going to do my tie again. So then I'm going to cross my yarn, again I have that X, and then I'll put that little piece through the loop or underneath that X, and then I am going to pull that tight as well. And I'm going to try to hold that first cross tight as I pull that second cross down. If you need another set of hands, please ask for it. That will make that a little bit easier. Okay, so then I have this little ball of yarn that is pulled tight in the middle. And I am going to now take my scissors and I am going to cut where that yarn kind of folds over on itself. So I am going to just take my scissors and go up from the bottom and just cut all of those little loops that I can see. All right, you can see inside here I had a couple loops. I'll cut those. And then I'm going to go to the other side of my yarn ball and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just cutting up and it's cutting those loops and it's making this into a yarn ball. Do you see? I have some loops there that haven't been cut yet, so I'll go and I'll cut those. And now I have a little, oops, not quite. I need to cut those loops. Now I have something like a puffball. At this point, you can kind of trim it up if you want to. If you want all of your pieces to be the same length, you can trim it up. Do be careful to not trim it too much. If you start trimming too much, you might end up with a puffball that isn't very puffy. But you can trim it just a little bit to kind of get all of those the same size. So I like that right there. I think I still had one that I hadn't cut, a loop. All right, oh, another loop. So you can kind of mess around with this a little bit to get it exactly the way you want it. And then we are going to do the exact same thing. We're going to make one more puffball. This is one part of the body, but I don't think that's actually a complete mouse. So now we're going to make a second puffball that we are going to attach to the first one. Now this one I'm going to try to keep my fingers a little bit more apart so that I'm not tightening that ball so much. Again, it doesn't really matter. It's just a lot easier to be able to get your fingers out if it isn't super tight, if the yarn isn't super tight over your fingers. So I'm continuing to wrap and wrap and wrap. And again, the more you wrap, the bigger your yarn ball here on your fingers, the bigger your puff ball. All right, so I'm going around and around and around and around and around and around, and it seems like my yarn is a little bit better behaved, this other ball that I'm pulling from, so it's a little bit easier. You can see though my fingers are still kind of trying to pull in a little bit, so I'm holding my fingers tight. All right, I think I'm good there, and now I'm going to cut that off. I am going to easily and carefully pull out my fingers. I cut a long strip of yarn. I put my little ball that I just took off my fingers over the middle of my yarn piece. I'm pulling tight to tie, and then I am going to do that one more time around the middle of my yarn ball. So I'm doing exactly the same thing I did in the first, and now I'm going to take my scissors and cut those loops so I can actually make a ball. And then I will continue on the other side. All right, and I am going to trim this up just a little bit, not too much. I kind of like a little scruffy look for my mouse. All right, and I still have a loop there. So there we go. So now I have two puff balls. I'm actually, so these two, or at least this one long one, is part of that tie that I used to tie all my yarn together. I have them here on this one too. I'm going to cut those off so they're the same length, so we won't know where those ties were. Okay, so at this point I have my two gray puff balls, and I am going to make this into a mouse body. So to do that, I am just going to simply take my fabric glue, and I am going to glue these two balls together. So there, I just put a little glue out, and I glued them together. Now this glue will take a little bit of time to dry, so we'll be very careful as we still handle that. But it'll get drying, and while it's drying a little bit, we can go on and make our mouse ears and our mouse nose and our mouse eyes. So the first thing I'm going to do is make Ralph's eyes. So I am going to just cut a small rectangle out of my felt. This will not take very much at all. And then I am going to fold that over, and I am now going to cut two eyes with one cut, because see, I have my fabric folded over. I will get two cuts. So I am going to just cut a small circle here on my folded over white felt. And does this have to be perfect? Not at all. It does not at all. If you feel better, you can draw it first. A pencil will work really well on felt, but I'm just winging it today. All right, so there are my two white circles. So now I'm going to give two pupils with my Sharpie. So I just pick up my Sharpie and I draw a circle in each circle. And there we go. I have my two eyes now. Okay, now I am going to move on to my gray, and I'm going to do something very similar with that gray. I am going to just simply cut a small rectangle. Here, I'll make it a rectangle so I know for sure when I fold over I'm cutting two together. And now I am going to cut an upside down U. So starting at the point that isn't folded, so those are the two open ends, I am now going to cut an upside down U. and I'm cutting the folded over fabric or folded over felt, so I am going to get 2 with 1 cut. So just like that, I now have 2 mouse ears. And now I am going to do the same thing with my pink. I'm going to cut the same shape, but I will cut it a little smaller because I want these little pink U's to go inside these little gray U's, little pink ears. All right, so now I am cutting my little U's. And again, you can draw these out first if you would prefer. But there we go. I have my 2 little mouse ears right there, or they will be soon, right? Okay, and now I can take this pink that I just cut my little inside of ears from, and now I'm going to make a small triangle just out of my scraps. So I don't know if you saw that. I just cut off the 2 U portion so that I now have a square, and I am just going to cut off one of those corners of the square, and look at that, I have a perfect mouse nose. Okay, oh, you know what, I forgot, oh my goodness, every mouse needs a tail, right? So now I'm going to take my gray, and I am going to cut a longish rectangle, not super long, but a longish rectangle. It just makes it a little bit easier for me to control my scissors if I'm working with a smaller piece. So a piece about this size, this is what, 2 inches by 1/2 inch-ish. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I am just going to free cut a mouse tail. So I'm going to have a point at one end, and then I'm just going to kind of wiggle my scissors back and forth until I get what I like to be a tail. Again, you can draw that out first if you would like to, but I say just freehand it. Life's too short to draw everything out, right? All right, so now I have all of my pieces, so I'm just going to attach them all. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I will put glue these little pink ears to my little gray ears, or the insides of the ears to the outsides of the ears, I guess. All right, so just a little bit of fabric glue and stick it on right there. Perfect. All right, I'll be careful when I put these on my little mouse, but they should stick together well enough for me to be able to just glue them in without waiting for them to dry. Okay, so now I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on the back of my gray ear, and I will just stick it down into that pom-pom, and I will do the same on the other side. Just a little glue, stick it down, and then I'm going to do the same with the eyes too. A little dot of glue, and I will put it right there on the gray part of the face, which, you know, you determine wherever you want your mouse face to be. All right, I have my 2 little eyes in there. Now the nose, this is a little bit trickier because it's a little bit smaller, but so just a little dot of glue, and then put it right beneath the eyes. And then I am going to glue on the tail, so I will just put a little bit of glue on the edge of that tail, and then I will stick that right under in the back of the mouse, and look at that. Just like that, we have a mouse that is looking for a motorcycle. Now you'll want to let this dry for half an hour to an hour before you pick it up and move it around. But once it's dry, then all you need to do is find its motorcycle for it. Well, I hope that you have had fun today making your mouse, learning about Beverly Cleary, and learning about the awesome book, The Mouse and the Motorcycle. If you had a chance to make this mouse, I would absolutely love to see a picture of it. Please ask a grown-up to take a picture and put that on our Facebook site. Thank you so much for joining me for this one. I look forward to seeing you next week. I can't wait to keep learning with you. Thanks again so much for joining me for this one. Thanks for kidding around with me. I will see you next time.